Hey, welcome to Breaking Bread, hosted by me, Crunk Chocolate, a show where I break verbal bread with the quote unquote enemy. Whenever Manchester City has an upcoming match, I will be here having a conversation with a supporter of the city's upcoming opponent. Shout out to all those watching on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Hit the thumbs up, like the video, and please to all you lovelies, you watching the replays, you beautiful souls, I appreciate you. Tomorrow, Manchester City will welcome Poch and his band of misfit youths and Raheem Sterling to the Etihad Stadium. Our Chelsea representative is a self-described tortured Chelsea fan. Check out her Shopify. Top the simple dash hats. Wow, sorry. It's top hats with a simple dash in between it. I'm messing that up. Holy crap. She does that with Kelsey Rios. Shady Gang, give it up for Melina Dautovic. Yes. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I'm good. What's up, Lando Show, bro? Love you. He's working, but he's tapped in. That's all that matters.
Amazing.
Just keep half an ear and part of an eye on us. I love it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good. It's been a wonderful day because it's the end of my work week, but not footy wise. So I am able to just kind of focus on Shades of Blue and all the football that's coming up. So I'm just looking forward to it. But let's start the show off with something a little light. Getting to know our guests a little before we chat about football. So top buckets, that's fashion. Doing your ting on TikTok as you dipping your toe in the YouTube gang. And I saw you were on no ratings, so that's cool. You're moving.
I was on no ratings. Kind of crazy.
Melina. Yeah, let us know.
So on the outline it says, "Tell us about yourself," and that probably is my least favorite question. I'm like, hi. But yeah, I'm on the TikTok. I think if you know me from social media, it's probably from TikTok. Or unless you stumble upon one of my insane rants on Twitter, hi, welcome. I have started dipping my toe into the YouTube space, but long form content kind of freaks me out. For now, I like being guests on other podcasts just because that's, fun to break up the monotony, but it's just too big of something for me to fully commit to. So yeah, the TikTok.
So what is it the editing? Is it the long bits of talking, just you? What is it specifically that throws you off?
The long bits of talking by myself, and I don't know. I feel like football podcasts are something that you could do by yourself, but it's not as like interactive.
I feel you. Yes,
you have like another person or two there with you for it to be actually, going back and forth. But I never thought I'd do TikTok. If you know me in real life, like everyone who knows me in real life is like, I don't know how you even did that because it's out of my character. I don't know. I'm shy by nature, but you would never guess that from my social media.
No, I wouldn't at all. Well, this is great. How did you become a Chelsea fan in the first place?
Long story short,
our long story. We can long story. We're in no rush.
So football was always on in my house growing up, always on the TV, and the first sort of conscious experience I have of it where I watched for myself was the 2010 World Cup, and I had the biggest crush on Fernando Torres ever. That's how this all started. And then I didn't really watch like any football because I don't know. I guess at the time I just had no idea of like international football, club football, the distinctions and stuff. Until one day I was just scrolling through the channels and I stumbled upon this game where Fernando Torres is on the bench and he plays for this blue team. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going for the blue team today. And that game turned out to be the Champions League final in 2012. So that was my first game as a Chelsea fan, and
Look at you.
I like to think that I did that. That I,
I'm
instilled
not going to disagree with
with the juju, and he did it.
you. So that was Fernando Torres with the hair, right?
Yes, when he was blonde and
Yeah.
like longer.
Uh-huh. Yes. Respect, that was a wild time. I hated the dude because of the hair, I was just like this young dorky dude, and I was like, screw him. He thinks he's beautiful. And I can understand why people would also think that he's beautiful.
He definitely was. Right, 11-year-old eyeballs.
Hey, shout out to Roberto Rojas, the homie. He's been on the lit stream. Yeah. Right. Uh, let's start with transfers. I feel like it's an easy, fun little chat about. Chelsea in the transfer market going.
My club
What
loved
was?
it.
Oh, right, exactly, going crazy. Casado, Lavia, and Cuckoo, Palmer. Thank you, by the way. Disasi, Jackson, Sanchez, and then there was last season Enzo, Fana, Mudrik, Varela, Sterling. Again, thank you. Bariasho, Koulibaly, Mariuke, Gusto. I could keep going, but the names become less and less interesting. But I didn't bring you here to explain or cape for the chaos, but I do have to ask, as a Chelsea fan, can you see the vision from Todd Bowley FC? Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel, or do you feel like the tunnel's about to cave in at any moment?
On the whole, I definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see what is trying to be built. There are definitely moments where I'm like, oh my god, the tunnel is definitely caving. But that's the overall thing that we're having to do here this season. You can't look at these games as one-offs. This season was always going to be a season of highs and lows and ebbs and flows and all of that stuff. And you really just have to take one game at a time, but bigger picture. Um, I always say, like, you are never as good as your last win, and you're never as bad as your last loss. And I need people to understand that. Like, this is a team in serious transition. There has never been a Big Six side with this amount of transformation in the last 18 months. And you can't speed that up. The ownership has tried to speed it up, and I think that's one of my bigger qualms, I guess, is they try to do in 2 transfer windows what normally takes like 4 or 5.
Yes.
They got rid of 16 players in one window and brought in like 20 new ones in the same window. And while, it's great storylines and stuff, you have to look at the reasonability of it and like at the substance. But my biggest issue with the transfers and just recruiting overall is I don't understand why the structure of a recruitment plan was this like weird 90-10 split between U23 players and experienced players when the balance should have been somewhere like 60-40 if you do want more younger talent. I see what they're trying to do. Like, this, people look at this team as if it's a team for the right now, when in reality it is very much a team for the next, or like in the next 2 years. And we'll have a much, much, much better picture of who is cut out for the squad and who isn't within the next season or two. And so that's why I'm not too upset about the season as a whole, like, to be completely honest. Of course, in the moment I get caught up, but like overall, I'm just like, we are exactly where I thought we'd be, precisely where we are.
Nobody hates losing, so I would hate, or I guess if I was scrolling and you're just like, "Say la vie, we lose so well," like I'd be questioning you. So I need to see a little rage out of people. A little passion's nice.
Yes, yes. But I think people take it a little bit too seriously sometimes. And
Oh, 1,000%.
what this team is. Like, you can't put Champions League expectations on this squad of literal children.
That's tough. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to it, but
on their own. They're young on their own as
yes,
individuals, and they're young as a collective. Like,
yes.
you cannot. I hate when people say, like, you spent $1 billion, you should be better. One, we can't use the players that we bought because they're all injured, and two, even if they were all fit, the amount of money does not overcome the need for time and chemistry and all of that to build.
Hmm.
Again, this season is like very much a figure it out, make it work. Next season, I'm asking much tougher questions of everybody.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. I can't argue with that at all. Let's look at Pochettino. He has faced Pep 7 more times than any other manager. 23 times the two have battled. Poch has 4 wins, 6 draws, and 13 losses to Baldiola. That's not great. And when you look at the managers Poch has experienced his most success against, Sean Dyche, Claudio Puel, Eddie Howe, Roy Hodgson, he's like the best of the mid majors, if you ask me. So, but what I will say about Poch is he did build a beautiful thing at Tottenham. He was given 5 years, and the club didn't win trophies, but they got close. He ruined City's Champions League dreams multiple times. I don't want to stay there for too long, but a couple of them are very painful. He was given time to build at Tottenham. Poch had a year and a half at PSG. Now, 230 days into Chelsea's Poch era, he's battling hot seat rumors. What have you seen from Poch so far as Chelsea's manager?
I was always going to be very forgiving of Poch this season because of what I said earlier. The squad is young individually and young as a collective. And the sheer amount of I think, like, we have 3 players from our 21 season, and it is Thiago Silva, Reece James, and Ben Chilwell. One of those is damn near 40, and 2 of them have hamstrings. So you're not getting much substance there. The one, like, me personally, I think with the bounds that Poch is in right now, the injuries, the recruitment strategy, I think he's done honestly as good as anybody can do, because anybody was going to struggle in this job, and any manager you put in this job was going to have a tough first year. And honestly, I think Pep would have a tough, like, 3 months trying to get it all to work, because you just cannot like overcome certain things. And I don't know. I think he's done fine. It hasn't been great by any stretch of the imagination, because he loves to do this thing where he plays players out of position, and we're all like, brother, why? Why are you playing Levi Colwell left back all season long and letting Ian Matson rot on the bench? And now he's at Borussia on loan. Why? Like, it's just these, like, little things where it's like, this job is already probably the most volatile and the hardest job in the Big Six, I'd say, in terms of environment. Why are you making it more difficult for yourself? Your tactical inflexibility is going to be your downfall. The one match where he actually changed some stuff and wasn't super stubborn and super stuck on his tactics was 3-1 away at Villa when we knocked them out of the FA Cup. Villa away, the fortress of Aston Villa, and we bumped them 3-1. And it's like, yeah, because you're playing Enzo where Enzo needs to be played, next to Moises Caicedo where they're holding hands, not Conor Gallagher in flip-flopped. Enzo Fernandez is not a 10. Let's stop that. Oh my God. But so yeah, I think given the constraints and the difficulties of the season, I don't think he's been horrible, completely horrible.
It's, man, I'm trying to figure out what levels of not hate, because it's how, because you expect good things in the future. How long can Chelsea stay in this 10? Say next year they're 8th, then do you feel like they have to be better than that, right? Like how long can you stay outside the top 6 without calling yourself like a top six club. Like you might need to change the words to like a historically successful football club.
No, because I think Arsenal was mediocre for 20 years, and we still consider them Big Six. I think Chelsea being
Touche.
bad
Good
for
point. Good point. Good point.
two seasons is not enough to warrant that, especially when the reason we're bad is because our club was stripped away by the British government and forcibly sold. Like, it's not like suddenly everything just deteriorated and we've been bad for eons, like certain clubs in London. I think we're allowed a little bit, of time to figure it out. And everyone loves to and I always say, like, the reason why people love to jump on Chelsea right now is because we ruined everyone's childhood. For 20 years, we just won everything. While Arsenal were dog shit for 20 years. We won every trophy under the sun twice. And then some. So I would do the same thing. But we have to look at things logically. I can tell you right now, this squad is not finishing 8th next season. This squad next season is a top 5 team. I'm not going to say top 4 because I think that's a little brazen to say, but this squad is a top 5 squad. And anybody who disagrees with me, underlying stats all season have had us 4th, 5th, 6th. And if it's only super thin margins that our players are not yet able to overcome because of their youth, they haven't been able to make the ruthlessness of this league work in their favor yet. They will learn those things. They will learn the pain of bottling a 2-0 lead against Arsenal at home with 12 minutes to go. They'll learn that. They'll learn from a 4-4 thriller against City at home. Like, this squad is not bad. This squad has taken the best team in the world, like, to the end. And so I really hate when people talk about this team and this squad like they're just a bunch of, like, ragtag, terrible, random players, when when I watch with my eyeballs, I know how good they are. They are incredible. They are amazing. They're just babies, and they need to be honed a little bit more to this league. Because this is the first time Nick Jackson, Malagusto, Badiashile, like, all of them are playing in the world's toughest league. I think they've done as well as anybody could do. Next season is the season I ask tougher questions.
Yeah. Oh, Nico. Because he'll just be like, and then just get up to goal and kick. And you're just like, whoa, what just happened? Did
he does
forget who you were?
He does the hard stuff and then cannot finish. But
it's crazy. It's because of Sterling and Palmer. You took in Lavia, who just really can't seem to get healthy, which is crazy.
No,
I don't. I mean, and also your color is blue, so it's like I don't hate their other clubs. I give my negative energy towards way before I give it to Chelsea. Like, so I mean, that might change pending if you start becoming more successful. Then I might have to start hating on you more. But the Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Luton Towns, they get all my team. They get all my hate.
The Lutons of the world.
The Lutons. I actually went crazy on Luton when they first got announced, because once upon a time there was a match where City and Luton Town played each other, and City needed to win. It was a hard-fought match. It was a draw, so Luton basically relegated City. And I jokingly was like, all right, Luton Town, I'm talking smack. And I was talking real smack. And my show bros were just like, hey, you're being way too much. You're bullying them. And then I had to back off. But they also won't let me live down the fact that for like 2 months I had all the smoke for Luton Town.
Now, Kenilworth Road is hell on earth to go to. I mean,
it is.
That place is no joke. And guess who go there this weekend? United.
I know. Those 12,000 people, they get loud. They get crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It also helps when they could just touch you when you're throwing the ball in
Very
as well.
compact, very
Yes,
tough to be jumped.
they're just on you. Uh, I think Chelsea will get better with time, but at the moment, they need to have a leader that isn't old or isn't sadly injury prone.
Yes,
Yeah, the Reece James, man, that whole situation, it
I could.
especially with his sister on the women's side, who's so talented. It's just like I wish they could both be healthy and thriving together because technically that's a great football story.
Oh my god, it's amazing. They're probably the one of the best sibling duos in world football. Like positionally, like what did their dad feed them? What did their
Facts.
parents do? You have
Facts.
created two like supreme athletes. One can't stay
It's
healthy, but
ridiculous.
hopefully the hammy surgery. Hopefully the hammy surgery did what it needed to do.
And I still feel like he needs to relax a little bit more. I was, even when KDB was coming back, there was chats that he was trying to join the team in December. And I was like, sit
Nope,
his tail
nope,
down.
no,
Why are we rushing him? We
no.
don't need to be rushing anybody of his quality and importance to this team. We'll figure it out. And same thing about Reece James. Like, would you like to have him back as soon as possible? Yes, but we need to make sure that he goes weeks without any sort of pain. Like,
Right.
don't need to power through, don't tough through. You ain't got to be a gangster, bro. You're a footballer.
Exactly. And now that we have Malagusto, which the next question on here is who are the standouts? One of my top three standouts is absolutely 100% Malagusto. Um, I personally think if Malagusto is able to stay fit for the rest of the season, I don't think Reese should play. I think you put Reese on ice until August. I'm not like physio or anything. You might want to give him some minutes for match fitness reasons and stuff. There's just like unless we're playing the FA Cup final and we really want some glory for the season, we're not doing anything in the league. We're not doing shit
Yeah.
in the league. He's not going to be back in time for the Carabao Cup final. There's no reason to rush him. August, play him all you want. Play him all you want in August. You don't need to right now. Malagusto is more than good enough to do like a deputizing job at right back.
No, I agree. I am a big fan of Malagusto. He's little, but he's a mighty dude. He's
Incredible.
in there.
He's
Yes,
he's 20 years old, and he to me, I was thinking about this the other night, and I was like, does he have a higher ceiling than Reese? Because what he can do at 20, it reminds me very similar of Reese. He's just not as uh, aggressive on the ball as Reese is. And I think Reese's control is a little bit better. But with Malagusto, he will take the ball away from you and you won't even know. You'll
Mhm.
be like, where'd it go? And he's halfway down the other side making some overlapping runs. And I'm like, this is what I need. This is what I want. So definitely, we're going to have a very, very, we're going to have tough questions when both of them are fit. If Reese wants to go, will he be able to go? Because Malagusto will be there. In a few seasons, is Malagusto going to be like, I'm too good to be sitting on this bench. I need to go somewhere? Tough questions for in the future for those two, for sure. But a good problem to have.
So I will give your club. They're in the top two. I don't. Again, I for the sake of me being a good host, I'll say you have the best. Your club has the best hair in the Premier League. Like if you just
Best
look
hair.
at the players, like just when I see them on the pitch, some got froze, some got curls, some got side braids, long braids. It's all different styles. Some got a shave, some of it's got like I just love it. It's just nice, moisturized, just melanin popping. Like especially me as a black man, I'm just like respect. I love this club. I love this club. I just wish they would win a little bit.
Oh yeah, same. My friends in our little group chat, everyone says, "Oh, we're just like vibes FC, love and friendship FC." Because
Yes,
like as bad as things have been on the pitch sometimes, I really do think we have such an amazing core of players. Like, I think this is the most likable group of players that we've had in a very, very long time because you can tell they want to be here. And that's the thing as a fan that matters to you the most is like, I will stick by you no matter what, as long as I know you care and that you're trying and that you give a shit. For example, Timo Werner. I'm a Timo Werner apologist. I will die for Timo Werner. Why? Because maybe it didn't always come off the right way. Maybe he missed some open shots. Cool. He was a workhorse. I knew when I was going to watch Timo Werner, I was going to get 110% effort. And that is what matters to fans. It doesn't have to come off every single time. Just try, please.
What about Mason Mount? What are your thoughts on Mason Mount? How was you upset about losing him?
I will just this, and then we can move on because I don't really want to talk about Mason Mount because he pisses me off.
Oh,
I hope he is fit and available for the match at Stamford Bridge because I want the shed end to rip apart his banner and just pelt him with it the entire game. They might have to throw to the bench because he hasn't been that great. But I hope they pelt and pelt and pelt. And that is all I will say on the matter. That's all I'll say.
Let's go to some of the chats. Malo Gusto's hair is clean. No, it is. It always looks great. And even if, which I also feel like when a player's nice and clean and kempt, that helps. Yeah, like if I'm gonna be negative on him, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna, hey, at least his hair is nice. So maybe he's not playing as well, but the hair it tricks my brain. What are some things that annoy you about other Chelsea fans, especially on social media?
Amazing question. The thing that makes me the most annoyed with Chelsea fans on the internet is that after every poor performance or every loss, it's apocalyptic. The sky is falling. The club is disintegrating beneath our very feet. The fact that they don't understand that progress isn't just, a linear straight line. It is like this. It is like this. And that's the reality of having such a young squad. One day, they're going to be amazing. One day, they're going to look like they could beat Real Madrid. The next day, they're losing 2-0 to Everton. That is just the reality. I always said, beginning of the season, I put us to finish 7th this season because this squad is not old enough and not experienced enough to be consistent enough to overcome certain things. Like, this is a league with Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, Aston Villa. That's 5 teams already better than you by a mile. You think you're going to crack into the top 4 just because you spent $1 billion? No, that's not how it works. That is not how football works in real life. That is, I hate it so much. Oh my God, Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
But
keep going. What else don't you like about them?
The whole is just so reaction. Relax, everybody, relax. It'll be fine. I promise. Good Lord.
Timo is enemy to me until I die. Lando. Oh, I feel okay. No, because that's Kai. I hate Kai because he was the one who put the dagger in my heart for our Champions League. But
yeah, I hate
that's
Kai
about it
for a different reason.
Oh, what is that? Let the hate flow.
He's just so lazy. He's so nonchalant. I don't like him. He's not good at anything. And he stole a living from 1 goal in 1 game. Sorry, you're not good enough. And now Arsenal fans have to deal with him. Thank God.
I mean, they seem to be doing pretty decent with him.
Not because of him. Not because of him.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Were there any other players on the squad that you would call standouts other than Malo Gusto?
Definitely Cole Palmer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though like half of his goals are like Raheem Sterling being like, "Here you go,"
Our
with the
squad
PKs.
is so big. I have to look at our actual squad because my
10
brain.
goals, 6 assists.
Oh, our goalkeeper Petrovic,
Oh,
amazing. I love him. He
oh,
is number one forever. Um, this is going to be a hot take, but
oh.
I've been very impressed with Axel Disasi. He's not like the greatest player on planet Earth. He has his limitations. He turns like a fridge. He's a little slow. I understand, but he's 25, 26, so he's an older player in the team, and I think personally he is more captain material than who we have as captains now. Because I don't know if you were watching our Palace game. The way this man, 215 pound, 6'4", when Connor scored the winner, launched himself into the away end, trust fall crowd surfing style. That is like, there's pictures of him just like screaming with the fans 10 rows back. And it's like, yeah, that's a funny image, but that to me shows somebody who cares, who
Yeah.
wants to be here, who is showing these young players like emotion and like galvanizing them. That is
Mm.
so important. That is an intangible that you need. And I haven't really seen that from Chile or Connor, who have been our captains in lieu of Reese. But even Reese, when we announced Reese as captain, I was like, it's a little surprising because Reese isn't the most like, you know,
Mm.
energetic and exuberant personality. I, I Axel Disasi for me has been a standout and probably one of our most consistent players, I'd say, this season so far.
At least you didn't give your captain their captaincy to talk them into staying and making him feel good, and then he lied to everyone about all of his chaos. Also, it's not my business, and I'm trying to move on. But
I
it was just a lot of mess. It was just a lot of mess that wasn't
understand.
needed from someone we are calling our captain.
Oh.
Chelsea are 10th in the Premier League, acknowledging that that is not where a club with the history Chelsea wants to be. There is hope of Chelsea lifting trophies still, FA Cup, Carabao. How are you feeling about Chelsea's 2023-2024 campaign at the moment?
Um, again, very much where I thought we'd be. We're 10th. 7th is looking more and more like a ceiling and as a possibility. Like I don't understand when people are so set as on the season as a whole, just because like I genuinely don't know what you expected. I think you fell victim to shiny new toy syndrome with all of the cool new players we got. I don't know. I'm perfectly okay with the season. If this was happening next year, then I'd have stronger emotions. But I'm very
Hmm.
like, this was what it was always going to be this year. Like we've had two hard factory resets. And that's just the reality of the situation. You have to operate within your bounds. These are our bounds. Next season will be better. I can almost guarantee you that. And like we're in one of our worst seasons, and this is the worst this squad is ever going to be, and we're playing for a domestic trophy. Like that's not a little thing. I know people will look at it like, oh, Carabao Cup, whatever, whatever. It's a trophy. It's silverware. It's the first time a lot of these players will be playing in a final for something. So it's good experience, I think.
I still love the Carabao Cup.
Ah, yes.
Tarek on our show has amazingly coined it the "I don't care about Cup," and so everybody has basically ran with that. And every single season, I mean, it's our second season, but every year so far, I've been like, "This is the year that we care about the Carabao, right?" And they're all just like, "Why do you keep doing this?
I
Why
care about the
why?"
Carabao. I care
I
about
care about I care about the cup. Like it's anytime
the
you can win
competition.
something, it's nice. It's
Yeah,
nice.
exactly. I mean, City almost won the quadruple. If they had won that one, it matters.
Oh, yeah, it's I think because there was a year that City won the like domestic quadruple, and they were calling it that. Carabao was a part of it, and people
Mm.
were kind of just like hating on it. And I really do feel like that was like a mental shift for everybody, where they're like, "Fine, I don't like it then, and everybody else can win it." Pep for sure could care less about that competition.
I don't know. I think Pep wants to win everything. I think he is a psychopath.
He definitely is, but when he has to weigh that against Champions League, which is his baby,
Yeah.
um, and the Premier League is first. It's always first, but I think at this moment, Champions League, I would much rather want to win back-to-back Champions League than 4 Premier Leagues in a row.
Hmm.
But also, I feel like once you win the treble, you can say I want both without it, I guess, sounding too insane. I don't know. It's all insane. I all sound like this like greedy ass fan by being a City fan. I'm aware of that, but it's also a possibility that most fandoms don't get to
No.
experience. So I try to appreciate it and embrace it. I am always just like, embrace the evil. Everybody wants to see us as this awful evil empire. Just have fun then, baby.
Just
Like,
have fun because it's gonna come crashing down soon enough. All empires come crashing down.
yeah, you would know, huh?
I would know. Mine was taken away.
Oh, it's
Yours
never gonna happen.
too.
It's never gonna happen. Pep
Yours
is gonna live forever. He's gonna become a cyborg, and he's just gonna be coaching until 23, and I'll be long gone.
the city empire is gonna come crashing down because of one of two things: the 115 charges, or when Pep Guardiola
Here we
finally
go.
decides he needs to go do something else.
150 charges is not an actual thing, and when that
Okay.
comes to being, when that is found to be true, please know we will be doing a live as long as possible, just bringing all the guests on. It's just gonna be us playing music and dancing. That's all
Kevin
it's
De
gonna
Bruyne fire sale, Erling Holland fire sale, £20 million.
We still have the money. We're going to be able to afford all these players. We're just going to have the largest wage bill in championship history.
I think okay.
Yeah, no, they're all gone. They're leaving. We're just going to be playing with all the young kids. Roberta,
Oscar
you're
Bob.
right. You play to win the game and trophies. And trophies.
Exactly.
Let's look at the previous 5 games. City with a 14-match unbeaten streak if you count the Club World Cup, which I do. Chelsea on
God,
the
I hate this club so much. Oh my god. Spoiled good lord.
I told you, embrace the evil. I'm also a fan of wrestling, so like being the bad guy, the heel, I love it so much. Like, please boo me. Nothing brings me more joy. But like Chelsea, on the other hand, they're putting your fans, you, through it. The last 5 Premier League games, one away at Crystal Palace 3-1, lost to Wolves at home 4-2, lost on the road to Liverpool 4-1, but barely beat Fulham at home 1-0, and a hard-fought victory at Kenilworth Road. You did play 2 FA Cup rounds, and that include replays. Yeah, and the Carabao. And the Carabao. So lots of football in between that.
Mm-hmm.
With all the players, that's great for them because they're all getting their chances to play. But I'm sure, well, from the score lines, you can tell they've struggled with consistency.
Mm-hmm. That was always going to be the issue this season.
Yeah.
It's just the injuries. People, when rival fans try and talk to me about, their injury crises, I literally laugh because we came into the season with 8 injuries. It got up to 12, and it has stayed between 8 and 12 all season long. And I'm talking about players like Reece James, like Nkunku, like Wesley Fofana, who is the best center back at this club, and however many of it's not even like the starters because it is the starters, it was also the backups. At one point in this season, we had long-term injuries to both starting fullbacks and the backups to both starting fullbacks. You don't have anybody to play there. We were playing 4 center backs flat across the back. No overlapping play, nothing dynamic happening. And that's not even like going up into like the forwards in the midfield. This season has just been the biggest clusterfuck of shit that you could have ever possibly imagined. So I don't blame the players. I said this on YouTube before. In the hierarchy of blame, the players are the least to blame. I think they really do try their hardest every single match, but the fact of the matter is they're going to be great one day and they're going to look like garbage the next. That's just what happens when you have a squad of U23 players.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the same league as like John McGinn and James Milner, who have played the game longer than they've been alive. Like, let's be serious.
Yeah, James Milner's career is longer than Malagusto's been alive.
Life.
So, like, you're right. Roberto with an amazing question. If you had to make a comparison with a college football team, be it now or historically, with his current Chelsea, who would you pick?
Texas A&M last season, #1 transfer portal, #1 recruiting class, absolute steaming garbage in the regular season, went 4-8, and it wasn't that great. But now they're rebuilding, got a new coach in there. It's going to be good. Definitely Texas A&M.
Is this a potch out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just over the last like 2 seasons.
Yes. I feel you. Okay. Starting 11 prediction. Injuries hurting both our squads. Chelsea hurting a bit more. No Chukwuemeka. Wow. Chukwuemeka. Wow, I practiced that before. Thank you. Thiago Silva, Biashil, Cucurella, Fofana, Reece James, R. Romeo Lavia. That's just so many players. City, we're struggling. We have just recently lost Bardial and our Gucci Puma Grealish. What are you expecting to see on the pitch?
From a Chelsea perspective,
yes.
So Robert Sanchez is back from injury.
Yes.
However, if I see Robert Sanchez in goal tomorrow, I'm not even looking at the rest of the team sheet because it should be George Petrovic. That kid is the #1 keeper at this club, hands down. Like, I will hear no argument for Robert Sanchez. Like, I saw somebody tweet today, when you take away his mistakes, Robert Sanchez is a better goalkeeper than George Petrovic. If you take away my inability to play football, I'm better than Kevin De Bruyne. Like, that's not a lot. That's not a real argument. Ugh, that's just my beef with Twitter people in general. But it should be George Petrovic in goal. And then at the back, it should be, starting from right to left, Malagusto, Axel Bassassi, Levi Colwell, and Ben Chilwell for a back four. And then I need to see, but probably won't see, Enzo and Caicedo in a pivot together. And then Connor in the 10, the midfield picks itself. We literally don't have anybody else to do anything. So that'll be really fun if anybody gets a yellow card or a red card or gets injured, because we can't finish matches without anybody getting injured these days. And then up top is where it gets weird. I think we need to I don't know. Because Nkunku needs to play, Cole needs to play, and Nick Jackson needs to play. But here's my thing. Nkunku is not a 9. He cannot play there. Cole is not a 9. He should not play there. Jackson is the most 9-ish out of all of them. Much better coming off the left. So I think I'm going to do Nkunku on the left. I might do Sterling. I'll do Sterling on the left, Jackson up top, and Cole on the right. The thing about Nick Jackson, though, God bless that kid. God bless that child. Oh, God. Just to add another wrench into this just insane season, He has 9 yellow cards on the season, okay? So if he gets a
Mm.
yellow, he misses the League Cup final. He misses the Carabao final. Do you want to know what his yellow cards have been for? Those 9. Out of the 9, only 1 has been for a foul.
Oh.
The rest of them have just been like agitating the ref. And when we played Crystal Palace, he got subbed off. And when Connor scored the goal,
Oh yeah,
runs
he ran
across
on.
the length of the pitch and throws himself into the stands. So now you tell me what Poch is supposed to do with that. You have one main goal scorer, but he has this weird tendency for weird yellow cards. You got Liverpool at Wembley the next weekend. I don't know. I don't know.
He's gonna earn his pay. That's
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
I think the Chelsea team really picks itself just because of injuries and stuff. The only sort of rotation that you could possibly see is with the forwards. But even then, I think it's just like 4 people that you have really to choose from.
Yeah, and I believe this is tough because I feel like Pep is going to just use the same squad, especially with the players who have gotten hurt last week. And I just think he trusts these players. And as long as there's not another match coming right around the corner, which there is. But
They're
I
all
think, I know, especially around this time. Yeah, I still think he's going to do it. So obviously, Ederson at goal, going from right to left. We have Walker, Stones, Diaz, Ake. Midfield trio of Rodri, Bernardo, Kevin, and the top 3.
Bernardo's injured though. He's not playing.
Oh, he is. He's injured forever. See, this is wow. My brain hasn't. Thank you. This is me catching up in real time. I forgot all about that.
That's
Oh, that one's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That's forcing Nunes, and that actually makes me
sweet baby Bernardo. I love Bernardo.
Chelsea should save their best team for Liverpool. I agree. I think you should just throw your match for us and put in your worst starting 11 and just
we have
focus all on Liverpool.
We have pride to play for.
But you said the Premier League doesn't matter. What do you mean?
It doesn't, but pride.
I can't keep up with you, Chelsea fans. You're all over the place. Oh man. Okay, so how do you see this match going out, playing out, and what's the score prediction?
I think anyone who says that they can envision themselves going to the Etihad and not getting thraxed by at least 2 goals, I think that person is crazy. So I'm just going to call a spade. We might get curb stomped. We might get our teeth kicked in, and that's perfectly okay. There's no shame in losing to Man City with KDB and Haaland and Rodri and Stones and Kyle Walker. There's no shame in that. So if we lose, we lose. I'm not expecting a win by any stretch of the imagination, but I wasn't expecting an 8-goal thriller at Stamford Bridge either.
I didn't see that coming either. That was painful. I hated
an amazing
that
game
so much.
For the neutral. I'm sure that was so fun. Not for us,
right? Wow, 8 goals, so fun. She's like, yeah, fun.
And I'm just sitting there with my stomach in my ass the whole time.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh, I hated that so much. It's just something about Poch.
When Rodri's goal went in, the 4th City goal, where it was 4-3, I remember just like deflating. I was like, oh, I thought we could get it. I thought we had it. Just so demoralizing. I cannot explain to you the feeling that was in my chest.
Every goal, my dumb tail would just be like, okay, that's the goal that we needed to pull ahead, and then they would score again, and then we're like, okay, cool. They figured their stuff out.
Cool. We're doing that. Nice.
This is what we're doing, I guess. It was a very dark time. I still hold on to the hope of clean sheets, and I understand that clean sheets are just not a city thing at the moment. And just
They're not
really
an
clean sheets in general.
they're not an
Yes.
anybody thing. This league does not defend anymore.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Apparently, clean sheets just really aren't a thing anymore, which is unfortunate. I maybe that's like the old school in me, still like, but I don't know. Just there's something really nice about the defensive, just like the clean sheet, the shutout. Our city women, they're fantastic about it. They just, in fact, did the same, did that today to Chelsea women. They beat them 1-0 in a incredibly stressful match. There was a double save Kiera Keating made at the end of the match where I yelped. That was basically the only description of the noise that came out of my mouth. I was just
Life without
yell.
her. Sad.
She looked miserable. She looked so miserable on the sideline.
There's a picture of her, Millie Bright, and somebody else in the crowd just being like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, they did not look happy. Well, we are at the end of the show. I would love for you to please plug yourself, plug your things, let people know how they can find you.
You can find me at Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. Just my full name, Melina Dautovic. And yeah, my hats. The link is in my Twitter bio. I think it's in my Instagram bio as well. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, Shady Gang, once again, give it up. Yeah. Everybody, we will be back tomorrow for a watch along for the match. Tap in with us all. Then Monday, we'll be back with a new match or new episode and a whole bunch of other episodes and streams that we'll talk about it for next week. That's next week's Shades of Blue problem. And you know the vibes. Shady Gang, Shady Gang, Shady Gang.